Hey guys, Jinx here, and today I want to show you an easy way to beat the 8th raid of the Lunar New Year event, Slaking. I'm going to first go over the locations of the dens, the mechanics of the fight, the general strategy you want to bring, and then I'll show you an example of us running it. The locations you can find the dens at is Kanto's Viridian Forest, Johto's Elix Forest, Hoen's Petalburg Woods, Sinnoh's Eterna Forest, and Univa's Lostlorn Forest. I find the easiest one to get to, Kanto's Viridian Forest. The mechanics of the fight are, at the beginning, there's actually no mechanic. This is to make up for the ads who will be using pledge moves. When the raid first came out, you could just re-roll these until you got a double up. However, it seems like they are set now, so you're always going to have a Simi-Poor on the left and a Simi-Sage on the right. If left alone, these will make a Swamp Pledge. At 76%, he'll use Slack Off, healing back up to full. At 50%, he'll use Thunder Wave on your whole team. And at 25%, he'll use Ability Suppression, getting rid of his Truant and any of your abilities. The general strategy of the fight is you'll want to set Tailwind and use Miracle Eye on Slaking on turn 1. Tailwind will make sure you outspeed, and Miracle Eye causes all accuracy checks to be ignored throughout the entire fight. This means you don't have to set up gravity and then keep having to reset it, or risk missing, which will allow you to spam lower accuracy but stronger moves. Also on turn 1, you're going to want position 3 or 4 to use Eruption on Simi-Sage. If the water and grass pledge go off on turn 1, you'll have the swamp and that'll slow you down way too much throughout the fight. If you use Eruption on turn 1, you'll knock out Simi-Sage, and it'll be replaced with Simi-Seer, meaning that you'll have the Water and Fire pledge, which doesn't really do anything in this fight. After that, you're just going to want to use everybody spamming Focus Blast. Focus Blast is a massive 120 power move, but it's only 70% accurate. However, since you've set Miracle Eye on turn 1, the entire fight this will be 100% accurate. Slaking's physical defense is much higher than its special defense, so you want to stick to Focus Blast users. I even used a Reckless, Choice Banded, High Jump Kick, Hitmonlee, and it still only hit for 4%, whereas even non-stab special attackers were hitting for 4 to 5% with Focus Blast, without even using choice items. You'll also need to make sure you heal block before 76%. You can pretty safely do this just on turn 2 early, because it'll last 2 turns anyway. That'll make sure that it goes off before the slack off goes off at 76%. If your team has pretty weak mons, then you'll have to adapt this a little bit more, depending on how much damage you're doing. The next thing I'd say to do is to bring your Amphiroses in just before 50%. He'll Thunder Wave at 50%, and Ampharos is a special attacker who can use Focus Blast and is immune to Thunder Wave, since it's an electric type. A huge bonus to this too is that they have the plus ability, meaning that if you bring all your Amphiroses in around this time, they'll boost each other up and they'll give each other a special attack bonus. Other than that, you'll just want to spam more Focus Blast throughout the whole fight. Bring a second Tailwind for turn 5, you'll definitely need that Tailwind, so keep that in mind also, but other than that, just use as many Focus Blast users as possible. And with all that out of the way, let's take a look at how our run went. So hopping right into the fight, you'll see Simi-Poor is always on the left side and Simi-Sage is always on the right. Typhlosion will knock out the Simi-Sage with Eruption, Cottony here is setting up the Tailwind, and our Xatu is set to use Miracle Eye, making everything hit throughout the fight. We also have a bulky Gothitelle, so we wanted to make sure that it was in for heal block, so it just came in and used Fake Tears, which made us hit a little bit harder for a couple turns. On this turn, Gothitelle is going to pop heal block, and the rest of us are just going to be using Focus Blast on Slaking. You'll see the Simi-Seer always comes in as the additional ad here, and this will set it up as a Water Fire pledge, which causes additional effects to be procced more commonly. The only move this would really affect of Slaking is Ice Punch, which isn't really a big deal, because if he's Ice Punching you, you're probably going to die anyway, so if you get frozen, that doesn't really matter. So the extra proc on freezes doesn't really matter. You'll see we also heal block early here, and that's because it does last 2 turns, and since we're pretty confident in the amount of damage we can do, we'd rather heal block early and make sure the heal block goes off, rather than risking having to reset due to our position 2, who has a heal block, not going down next turn and then being left without being able to get our heal blocker in. We also bring our Amphiroses in together because they have the ability plus, they boost each other's special attack, and you can see here that they're hitting between 5.4 to 5.9%, which is pretty much damage cap even though it's a non-stab move. You can see here we're just before 50%, So we tried to get as many Amphiroses in as possible. We're just before 50% and we have 3 Amphiroses in, which is perfect because the Thunder Wave's just about to come in. And with that, the Thunder Wave goes off, but we're all totally fine other than the Hydreigon. Ampharos, being an electric type, is immune to Thunder Wave, so it's the perfect thing to have in on this turn. If you don't have an Ampharos ready, you can definitely use like a Safeguard Mon here. Dragonite's actually the best option if you have a special attacking type, because it can Safeguard easily, and then even use Focus Blast if it stays alive. And here at turn 5, we bring another Tailwind user in, so that we can get that Tailwind boost for the rest of the fight. And everybody else just continues spamming Focus Blast. I figured I'd give a try to one of the hardest hitting physical attackers, which is a Choice Banded Hitmonlee with the Reckless ability and High Jump Kick. Since we have 100% accuracy from Miracle Eye, I tried to see how much damage this would do, but it actually only did 4%, even with this massive attack stat. So I do really recommend just sticking to your physical attackers with Focus Blast here. Charizard's not very ideal, as you'll see he only does about 2.5% here. That's because a big part of Charizard's kit is the solar power ability, giving it a 50% boost, and since we're not setting sun here, it's actually pretty weak in this fight. And with that, Slaking is down. Super easy. Alright, let's see what we got. Not great nature. Attack, not bad. Pretty decent stats overall. Not great, but not too bad. If this video helped you out, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a fantastic rest of your day.